Hello.
Hi, hello, is this Marcus?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Marcus, this is Tommy Bryson. How can I help you?
Hey, what's going on, Tommy? I saw your thing on Instagram, so I just wanted to talk about saving slash investing versus paying off debt. I'm
Okay.
currently in the position of paying off credit card debt,
Okay.
and I've tackled. I had like eight cards, and I have two left. And now
Congrats.
once I pick, could I thank you? I still have a student loan that's like 40 grand, a little bit more than 40 grand, and I got a car note. But my car loan is like 19 grand and some change. Um, Now like I'm like, should I like just pay those off gradually or try to tackle those and then like and then really hone in on like saving and investing,
What's
like
your
because
income
I
right now?
also probably around I get two paychecks. I work all over. I get two paychecks right now, biweekly for like 1,100, and then I get a commission check at the end of every month. So I make like 3,200 every month. So
3,200.
annually, that's
Okay.
probably like 38 for my main job. But I work DoorDash and I do like a side job. So
Oh,
after
you're
all that,
awesome.
I'll be grinding, bro.
That's awesome,
Like
bro.
I do DoorDash and I work another job. So probably like 38 for my primary job, and like probably like another. I made 8 grand on DoorDash last year. So let's say I average about 8 grand with DoorDash, and then like I'll probably make another 3 grand from my other job. So add 12 grand on top of my regular 38. So I'll probably make around 50 grand a year
That's
annually, like
awesome.
after taxes. So
That's awesome. Now let me ask you a question. All right. So you have around $60,000 in debt right now. A little bit more. How much you have left in the credit card debt?
I would say about like 5,700. So
$5,700 on two credit cards, right?
yes,
Okay.
collectively, like that's how much.
Okay, so here are the rules I follow. Okay, the rule I follow is the avalanche method when it comes to paying off debt. So that means paying
Mhm.
the debt with the highest APR first.
Okay.
So if I have, for example, one credit card charging me maybe like 25, one charging me 20, Marcus, I would go ahead
Mhm.
and pay the credit card with the highest APR first and pay the minimum on the other card. That
Right.
way, I save money mathematically. Now, here's your problem, right? All right, you're done with that debt pretty fast, pretty quickly by putting in, for example, around 30% of your income just towards that. But you also want to have, for example, at least 1K in savings. So if things do go wrong, you have that money on the side to kind of like, hey, okay, let me dig myself out of this trap so I don't go back to credit card debt, but I'm fine. And then rebuild it up if you use it, okay? It's like a mini emergency account. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Okay, awesome. So once you're done with that credit card debt, or maybe before, you gotta ask yourself, okay, this car that you have, you owe $19,000 on it and some change. How much is this car worth?
How much is it worth to me,
Yeah.
or just like
No, not to you, obviously, but on Kelly's
to
Blue
me?
Book, like, what's the value of this car?
I gotta.
To
I
me,
never looked it up. I never looked
well,
it up.
okay. The reason
Let's
I'm
see.
asking you is because basically this is a massive amount. How much? What's the APR on that car? What's the APR on that loan for that car?
16.
Yeah, that's a lot of money, bro. That's a lot of
Yeah,
money.
that's what I was thinking. Cause like I took the leisure of writing down all my credit that I like all my debt and like figuring out. Cause upon like the past year, like I said, I watch a lot of your videos, so like
Mm-hmm.
I took the time to figure out all the APR on my cards and things like
Yeah.
that. But like so what I did was is like I did like to pay off the lowest amount first, and then like I'm in a position. What I did to help me pay off some of my debt was like I borrowed against my 401k because that's a lower
Mm,
interest rate. So I'm kind of paying myself back gradually. Because I'm like, yo, if I could pay off the high interest and just pay myself back on the back end, that probably makes more sense than paying off all this debt gradually. And instead of like, that's why I'm trying to tackle it. But like
mm-hmm.
the car note and the student loan, I would pay through my income, not like through my 401k loan. Because the
Okay.
401 late, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm hearing.
The 401k loan was just enough to pay off the credit card debt, and that I was
Mm-hmm.
fine with that. I'm like, I don't want to do anything crazy and like and like mess up my savings for retirement or just later
Mm-hmm.
on in life. So I'm like, I'll pay off the credit card debt as I can, with stimulus checks and commission checks, and I
Mm-hmm.
get a bonus coming to me from work next month. I'm gonna use
Awesome.
towards credit card debt. So like I've just been using all that my extra income plus that loan I was able to pay off all my credit card debt like within the past 2 months. Like that's why I'm right there at the finish line with credit card debt at least.
That's awesome. So the other credit cards you had before, you still have them?
They're still open accounts, but I shred them all till I paid them off. I told myself I wasn't gonna have them on my person until I paid them off.
Okay.
So I shred them all.
So let me tell you what you did here, okay? You did something called like the snowball method, where you paid the small balance first. That's kind of like what Dave Ramsey does, which is fine too. It kind of like builds motivation and all that stuff. As far as like borrowing against your 401k, I wouldn't do that, because basically, if you did lose your job, something like that crazy, you would be in trouble and you wouldn't know what to do. So for whatever you have right now, just pay it off with your income, okay? Don't invest any money. Don't save any money, aside, for example, for the 1K you have on the side, but just focus fully on just basically the minimum expenses, and just basically paying off the debt as fast as possible. Using, for example, the avalanche method. Now, the first thing I would focus on is basically the credit card debt. Try to finish it off as fast as possible. Once you're done with that, you got to consider this car note that I have. If this car is worth, for example, $15,000, should I go ahead and sell this car? Consider this, okay? I know you love your car or whatever. Should I sell this car, cut my losses, pay the rest of it off? I'm done with it. Buy a beater car, right? A nice car to do, like, for example, because you also need to be like reliable, because you're also doing DoorDash and so on. But buy a reliable car that's maybe like $4 or $5 grand, right? You paid it off in full. It's your car. You don't have to worry about it. And now the only thing you have to worry about is basically this right here, this just ginormous thing right here, which is basically student loan debt, which is around $40,000. And that's it.
Okay, so you're saying basically like, so look into selling this car.
I'm saying sell the car for sure.
Sell the car.
Yeah, I'm saying sell the car for sure. I'm saying, and I actually made a video today about that stuff. But the whole idea is just you want to sell that car, $19,000 that you owe on that car, and you're making, for example, $50K. Unless you really want to keep the car and then pay it off. Understand you're paying off a car that maybe in the future you could probably buy cash when you can actually afford it. But if you can sell it for $15K or $14K, whatever it's worth in Kelly's Blue Book, and maybe cut your losses, pay off the loan, you're done with that. Instead of taking, for example, maybe like 6 maybe to a year on this, you're done with it ASAP. You buy a beater car for cash. It's yours. It's done. And then you just focus on, for example, and just tackling heavy that student loan debt.
Okay. So I should look into selling this car and get that off my hands. That makes sense. I never thought about that. I never ever thought about that.
What's your monthly payment right now? What's your monthly payment on that car?
4.
So look at that, $400 extra going to your debt now. You see that?
Yeah, to my student loan. That's why. Like my mindset was pay off the car, but I never thought to sell it and get a different car just to hold me off.
Yeah, exactly. So, sometimes we don't want to get rid of something we actually like. Like it's tough, right? You like this car, you probably bought it and all this stuff, and you don't want to sell it. But if you sell this car, it's a liability right now. You know, it's always going to be a liability, obviously. But if you buy this car, maybe like 3 years from now, 4 years from now, you can pay cash for it. You'll enjoy it a lot more because, hey, I own this car. It's mine. I don't owe anybody. There's no payments on it. It's yours fully.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I said too. Because like I had to get this car because I got into an accident with my other car, and the insurance paid it off as a total loss. And then I was out of a car for a little bit, and I was like kind of like doing like I was using my mom's car, and that was only going to be sufficient for but so long. And then like so eventually I was like, all right, I need to get a car, and I never thought to like just get a car in cash and buy it outright. Because again, at this time last year, I was still in debt, credit card debt, so money was all over the place. But I could probably, like I said, get the money together to. I gotta just start pricing cars and see what I can get for that.
Yeah, just go to Kelly's Blue Book. Kelly's Blue Book. Talk to your lender too, and basically try to sell that car with whatever the payoff is. You try to pay that car. You're done with it. It's off your hands. You buy, for example, $4,000 to $5,000 car. Make sure before you buy this $4,000 to $5,000 car, you get it checked out by a mechanic to make sure it's solid and it's gonna be running for a while. Toyota Corollas 2014, they run for a very long time. Hundreds of thousands of miles on that one. They always turn on. Nice, good, reliable car. You have it, for example, once you're done with the student loan debt and the way you are, by the way, do you live on your own or do you live with your mom?
Nope. Right now I have the luxury of living at home. So that's another reason why I'm tackling all this stuff right now before I move out.
Yes. So if you're living with your mom right now, bro, obviously you're probably helping out something over there. But the idea is use the bulk of your money, right? Just to go ahead and tackle all of this debt. So when you are ready to start investing, now, once you're done with the debt, right? What's the next step? Okay, I'm debt free now, Tommy. My student loans are paid off. I don't have any credit card debt, no car note, no nothing. What do I do now? The answer is you want to build up a fully blown emergency account, right? Around 3
Mm-hmm.
to 6 months worth of expenses, right? Now consider that
Yes.
maybe then you're living with your mom, but consider that basically what your expenses are going to be when you actually move out. So make sure the emergency account is going to be covered for when you actually go out there and rent a place if that's what you want to do. Second thing
Right.
is,
Yeah.
while you're doing that, you want to be investing around 20 to 25% of your money, right, into a portfolio you actually understand, into ETFs and so on for your retirement and all that fancy stuff.
Yeah. So that makes sense. Yeah, because like right now, like I said, like I'm in a position where like I really don't have to contribute much to the house besides like little things around the way. So that's why I said I was able to tackle a lot of my debt this year, especially with stimulus checks and just like the commission checks and things like that. So yeah, like I said, I appreciate that what's the word I'm looking for? That suggestion of selling the car, because again, I never thought about that. So I can look into that, see how much I can get for this car, and then also try to find the car. Because I got a 2017 Santa Fe Sport, and the main reason why I got this car was because like I got a dog, I got a Rottweiler, and he's big, and sometimes like I need to take him places, and like I had Chevy Malibu. Yeah, I had a Chevy Malibu, so I was like, yeah, this ain't gonna work. Like this ain't gonna work. You too big. So I got something with a little more space. So yeah, like this is how I ended up with this one. But most definitely that makes the most sense. And like I said, like, 'cause I literally like went through my statement one day on my bank account, and I made a calendar on Canva of like due dates and what I was paying and where it was coming from. I got rid of subscriptions, like I got rid of use of subscriptions.
Yeah.
I keep my gym membership because I value my health, so I work out all the time. But I actually ended up getting a front desk job at the gym I work at, and that like eliminated my monthly payment for the gym.
That's awesome.
So like that was good. That was a blessing in disguise. And then like I said, once I got down to like all my credit card debt, I'm like, all right, what's the next move? I'm 2 cards away from paying off this credit card debt. And like I said, I was thinking about tackling the car loan, but now you just gave me the idea of selling the car and then like get rid of it and just get something I can buy cash. And I was entertaining that prior to, like I said, last year when I know I needed a car, but I couldn't afford to do it like that because I was like, I don't really have the funds to do it. Like, so you're saying go through Kelley Blue Book and just like buy a car through that?
No, Kelly, you can buy a car through that also, but Kelley Blue is going to give you like an estimate of how much your car is worth to actually go ahead and sell. Okay? And by the way, where are you located? Where do you live?
I live in Jersey.
In Jersey. Okay. And you want to live there for a long time?
No, I don't. It's too expensive.
I'm asking because like because once you're done with your debt, you got to consider like, hey, do I want to buy a home, right?
Yeah, like my thing is I got a plan for that too though. That's another thing. That's another reason why I'm trying to get my credit right, because the real estate is something I want to get into also. Like you probably I don't know where you stay at, but Jersey has, Jersey got the beach. And I live in the Jersey Shore, so I live by the beach. My grandma has a house near the beach and it's paid off. She owns it. And I'm not plotting on anything. Like I want my grandma to live as long as she can. But I know eventually that time's gonna come. Like that's the reality of it. But I'm like, yo, we own this house 10 minutes from the beach. Don't sell the house. Keep the house, because it's gonna be worth a lot of money down the road. Yeah. Like gut it out and get it up to par and rent it out to somebody. Yeah. I don't want to live in Jersey because I understand Jersey is too expensive for my liking. I can't even find an apartment here for $1,500. Like that's my mark. I want to move somewhere where I can get that. I can get $1,500 like a month and get something real nice. If that's my max. I'm not trying to spend that much money on an apartment if I'm renting it. I'll probably buy a house somewhere else though. I want to buy a house somewhere else. I don't want to buy a house in Jersey.
What's your credit score right now?
650. Right
650. Now. Now, by the way, I want to clarify something, right? Like, I'm all for, like, having a good credit score and all that stuff, but as you probably know, like, you can still get a house and a loan, like, without having a credit score. It's called manual underwriting, so that's also an option. But if you want to have, for example, a proper good credit score, that's also fine. So what I recommend is, right, you have those, like, credit cards, they're active, but you're not using them right now. You don't keep them on your person. What I would do is, I would probably keep around 3 or 4 of them, right? Okay. Now put, for example, my phone bill on one, my Netflix on another one, my whatever, like a little bill on each one, right? And you put them to auto pay in full. and grab the physical cards and just cut them, Marcus. Okay, that way you don't go into debt, but you build your credit score, because basically you're tackling two of the main things. It's basically your payment history and also utilization stays very low. So this way you're not going into debt again ever, but you're basically also building your credit score at the same time.
Yeah, that's what I planned on doing that too. Like I said, I shred the credit cards because I knew like I didn't even want to have the temptation of using them. And It also kind of forced me to have the money available when I needed it for things like gas and groceries. Like, it forced my hand. Like, I was like, I don't have a credit. Because what I was doing was, like, you would pay a little bit more than the minimum balance, and the next thing you know, you would need gas, and you'll be like, okay, well, I got to use the credit card.
Yeah.
And then, like, and then I was like, you know what? I'm done playing this game. Because I'm playing myself in the long run, because I'm just paying more interest, and these credit card balances aren't going down. Exactly. So I said, you know what? I'm going to bite the bullet. And like last year around this time, I think I shred all my credit cards, and awesome. Like I was just like, yo. And then I think in April when COVID really hit off, I was doing DoorDash, and I made so much money. Like I made like $4,000 in April doing DoorDash last year, because like it was just nobody was going nowhere, and I was out here just getting money, awesome. And that helped me a lot, and that helped me stay afloat. That helped me like have money and cash available for what I really needed throughout the day or throughout my month with budget and things like that. Mm-hmm. And then like next thing you know, I was like, yo, I don't need the credit cards for anything, but I understand the value of building my credit. So, like I said, I was going to reorder the cards when I paid them all off. And I got to look at what has the best benefits and things like that, and the best perks.
Don't worry about the benefits. Don't worry about the benefits or the perks. Just worry about building your credit. That's what you want, right? Build your credit score, right? So just put one small bill on 3 credit cards you choose, and forget about the benefits, forget about everything else, okay? That's how you go back into debt. Like, this one gives me 2% of groceries. All right, let me just do this. No, just forget about all that, and just focus on, hey, I'm going to use this credit card just for one small bill, and forget about it, and just pay it off in full every single month automatically. Put everything on autopilot.
Yeah, okay. So that makes sense. So, like, so I got, like, okay. I think I can definitely make that happen, because after I pay off these next 2 credit cards, because like I said, I'm 27, close to 30, like so I'm like, I'm 27, I'm 3 years from 30. I want to be in a different position with my money by 30. So, especially when I'm planning on having a future with, like with somebody, kids later on in life. I'm not trying to be in debt. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to be in debt, and I'm trying to raise a family, because I know what type of stress that builds. And I'm just like, look, I'm gonna get right. So pretty much that's what I've been doing. I've just been focusing on that, and I'll take your advice on the car, and then I'll also take your advice with the auto pay, because I planned on putting my cell phone bill on auto pay anyway, and I was gonna use that to start. Yeah, I was gonna start doing that with a card and build my credit score that way. Because I was like, yo, I pay my bill on time all the time. So what's the difference if I put it on a credit card and just pay the credit card on time? Like,
exactly. That's what you need to do.
It's the same concept.
So overall, from this call, what I gathered is this, Marcus. The goal is to get out of debt. Once I'm out of debt, basically build a foundation with the emergency fund. Start investing, for example, into an ETF portfolio or investment portfolio. I understand what everything's going on there, like around 20 to 25% of my money. And basically figure out exactly what you want to do as far as like, hey, do I want to buy a home? What's going to happen with that? And when you buy a home, the rule I follow is the 33% rule, which basically means the home you buy cannot exceed 33% of your monthly income once you include all the expenses the home has to bring. So, for example, you have the mortgage, insurance, taxes, HOA fee, and maintenance, right? If all those things together do not go over 30% of your monthly income on a 15-year mortgage, you're good to go with that house. It's going to be a cheap house, a good house. You can probably pay it off. If you pay an extra 15% towards that house every month, you can probably basically pay it off in 7 to 10 years. A lot earlier than the average person.
Yes, that's the plan too. Like, I want to be able to pay things off early. That way I'm not paying things off long term, because I feel like sometimes what happens is it's like a trap almost, because you get, okay, I got 6 years to pay this off, I got 30 years to pay this off.
Yes.
It's like, but why would you want to wait 30 years to pay? That's so long. I'm like,
and they give you the benefits too, right? They give you like just like the credit cards, they give you like the points. It's like, okay, we'll give you a tax benefit, we'll give you this, oh, the interest is deductible, all this stuff, but you're still getting charged all this nonsense, right? So it's better to be a homeowner than be a homeowner in 30 years, if you get what I mean.
Yes, I agree with that. So, yeah, I actually appreciate this advice. I'm actually glad I got this opportunity to talk to you, because I watch your videos all the time. I watch them every day, really.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
I watch them all the time. Thank you. I appreciate what you're doing, because it's helped me greatly. And and I've taken a lot of things that you've talked about in your videos and taken notes and put it in my membrane for future reference. And this is something that I'm going to work towards. So later on, so like within this year, I can start saving and investing more and really start building my financial, like, you know.
It'll probably take you a little longer to pay off that student loan debt, but you should be there not too long from now.
Yeah, that's how I'm understanding. Like I said, like one thing that kind of gives me solace with the student loan debt is understanding that like the interest rate isn't as high as it is on some of these credit cards and this auto loan.
Let's talk about this before this call is over, because I know you did want to talk about saving / investing, right? Here's the idea here, right? The portfolio I gave you is gonna probably earn 8%, right? Your student loan debt is probably like what, like 4%?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now let's say, okay, taxes are 2% on those investments, right? So now you're down to like around 6%. You also have fees to worry about. You also have inflation to worry about. So after you account for all those things, usually you're basically averaging out to a very small level, exactly like the same thing. The same you're gonna pay in interest, they're gonna basically make in investments. It's not like, oh, I make 20% in investments and I'm paying 4%. That's a whole different conversation. But usually, if you're making 8 to 10%, it's just usually gonna be better. Hey, let me just pay off this debt, and now I have a bunch of free income, right, to go ahead and invest. Okay, you paying off your car, that's $400. That's gonna free you up every month. You paying off the student loan debt is going to free you up money when they do start charging you money for the whole student loan debt. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
So you just pay that off. Once you're done paying that off, you have all the money you make. All that $50K you make is just going to be your money to go ahead and invest and do as you please. You're like the owner of everything you have.
True. And like before we go, one last thing, because I know about supplementing my income. That's what I'm doing now with these side hustles and things like that. Because like that's the main reason why too. Like so I can work towards paying off all this debt before then. And I really like I get that motivation from paying off the debt I got. And the student loan, like I'm looking at it right now. It's $47,000, and the principal is $45,000, and the interest rate is 4.5%. Yeah. And due to COVID, I don't gotta start making payments on that until November, so that gives me some time to get my car payment paid off. Yeah. I'll get my car sold. Yeah. So that would be the best bet. Cause the car is $20,000. The interest rate on there is 16.46%. And so okay.
Yeah, man. You have until September. September is the deadline when they start charging interest on the student loans, which might not happen, by the way. You never know what's gonna happen. But September, that's in what, like 4 or 5 months, something like that. Is it? Is it 4 or 5? Yeah, something like that. So you can pay off your credit card by that time. You can be done with that car, but probably like next month you sold that car, you're done with it, you're good to go. You buy a beater car, like $4,000 or $5,000, you're back in business. Everything that's left over is the student loan debt. Now, take advantage that basically right now is not accumulating any interest. So you want to go ahead and pay it right now as fast as possible, because it means that every single dollar you pay towards this shit, I shouldn't curse in this channel. Every single dollar you spend on this student loan debt is going to go straight into the capital.
Yes, the principal balance. So so I actually, because I took a break from paying it just because I know I didn't have to, but I'm about to get back on that too. So that way, because I'll be $400 a month that I've been accommodating for my car. I can be putting that towards, because I don't know the math on that, but it's like, I'm paying
a lot of money
on my car. 52 on my car. If I'm paying my student loan debt is 40. Let's just say 4,800, and I'm 48,000. Divide that by 450. That is 106 payments.
Yeah, that's not, well. By the way, that 450 something is like an extra $5,000 every single year towards your entire thing, right? And right now, you can still, since you're making 50K, if you say, for example, like maybe like 25% of that or whatever, that's also extra money to put towards that debt too. So it's a lot of money. If you can manage, who do you live with right now?
I live with my parents, my mom.
Yeah, with your parents, right? Yeah. So look, if you can manage to save, for example, 50% of your income, right, which is $25,000, which is not that bad if you live with your parents. That means that student loan debt can be all your debt can be easily done, maybe, for example, in less than 2 years.
Yeah, that's the goal, really, because in 2 years from now I'll be 30, because I turned 28 in September.
Yeah, bro. And don't even look. Don't sweat this whole 30 stuff and like, oh my gosh, I'm about to be old, bro. You're not dying anytime soon, bro. You're gonna be around for a very, 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 very long time. As long as you're doing things correctly, it's a marathon, like Nipsey Hussle used to say, right? It's a marathon. You'll get there ASAP. Okay, it's just step by step, but you're gonna get there. Don't worry about it. You're doing the right
Yes,
things.
sir.
That's the important stuff. So you're paying off your debts. You're gonna start investing. You're gonna eventually buy your home, but just do everything in order. Don't do things out of order because that's how you land yourself in a mess. Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate that advice.
All right, brother. This was a fun conversation. Thank you, and look out for this video. It should be coming out pretty soon. And thanks again, man. Have fun with this whole thing.
Thank you very much. Again, appreciate it. Have a good
All right.
one.
Thanks, Marcus.
All right,
Peace
bye-bye.
out.
Bye.
Bye. All right, guys. So that right there was Marcus. And by the way, Marcus is definitely like a superhero. I look up to Marcus, okay? And I almost slipped up a few times there. But overall, the idea is, hey, if you're doing everything correctly, just be patient and keep doing it. And by the way, I see this all the time. People think that, hey, you know what, Tommy? I only have one option. I gotta finish off paying this car. No, sell the car. Get rid of the car. You don't need to spend $450 something every single month on a car. You don't need to, okay? So you sell the car, you buy a used car, you have all this money now, you pay off that debt, and you're done with it. That way, you're good to go. You're solid. You're concrete. Nothing to worry about. That's my idea right there. But guys, if you want to join me on my next call, well, link down below. And on top of that, also, if you guys are new here, go ahead and like this video. On top of that, also, subscribe, hit the bell to get notified. And on top of that, if you want to text me all the time, join my Patreon, link down below, or send me a DM on Instagram at Tommy Bryson. And before I go, if you want to watch another call, well, here's that call right here. And click my face right here. I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. And as always, peace.
You've got to start